breaking my heart, you're shaking my confidence daily. Oh, Cecilia, I'm down on my knees, I'm begging you please to come home. Cecilia, you're breaking my heart, you're shaking my confidence daily. Oh, Cecilia.
Thank you, Chair. I'm not going to refer to these or those other statistics. In general, it's very difficult to know, to have data on criminal offences, even more because criminals hide, and in this case, even victims hide about that. Just to give you an example, and I won't go into the details of all the statistics for the efficiency of blocking, of notice and takedown, of whatever, just to know how many children are abused. We are using figures of between 10 and 20% of children in Europe. How do we come to that? Well, the most elaborated study that we have seen is one produced by the Council of Europe in 2003. And the first thing they tell you is that this is very difficult to get. To begin with, there is no such thing in national statistics as child sex abuse. Many cases of child sex abuse are just categorized as rape. And it is the same category if the victim is 8 years old or 50 years old. Children do not speak. Sometimes they speak out later. So these are all guesses. You have to combine what comes from official sources, what comes from interviews, what comes from case studies. But that doesn't prevent you from having a picture of what is happening. So you don't need to know exactly how things are to know that things are happening. By the way, you can't know exactly how things are anyway. You just can have a flare of what phenomena go on. And we know that these phenomena go on. We know that children are abused, and we know that child pornography is exchanged on the Internet, outside of the Internet in other ways, but also on the Internet. We know that a number of children suffer for a long time about that. We know that there is a trade. We don't know how much money, but we know that there is a trade in that, and we know that action has to be taken. Now, at one point, EU institutions who rely on evidence, and the more scientific the evidence, the better, have to take a political standpoint and have to make a political judgment. And then the political judgment also includes the decision whether you wait to address a problem until you have completely reliable statistics, or you already rely on what you get from the data you have, or also from practitioners who are working in the field and tell you what is going on, even if they can't give you a scientific study for everything. And that's also a political judgment. And in this case, the Commission has taken a political judgment that the protection of children is a really important issue, and we just cannot afford politically to wait until we have a complete and detailed picture of what happens everywhere in Europe. And the Parliament and the Council, who are the ones who will be making the directive, because this is not a directive of the Commission, this is a directive of the Parliament and of the Council, will have also to take that political judgment. With the instruments that we have, it's a choice. We can hide behind our ignorance, or we can say, despite of all that, we know that this is happening, we know that this is being done in different member states, we know that this works together with other instruments, and we decide to propose to extend this good practice to the whole of Europe. It's a political judgment, as I say. And the Commission is not a research institute either. It's a political body that takes political decisions on the basis of evidence, just as the Parliament.
Cecilia, you're breaking my heart, you're shaking my confidence.